What up, what up? It's your boy Trav, and today we're gonna talk about Jada Pinkett Smith's out-of-pocket ass. Yep, she back at it again. So, with that said, recently she had a red table talk and she was talking to Gwyneth Paltrow and they were having a sex talk. And in that, she revealed that it's hard to maintain a healthy sex life with Will Smith and that he doesn't always know what to do to please her in the bedroom. Now, my thing is this: she is too open about talking about their personal business and using that for her benefit. And she does it in ways that publicly disrespects her husband. Now, with the first entanglement thing, okay, August Alsino's out of pocket for putting that out because he was trying to use that to get album publicity. That was a weak move. But her way of dealing with it was weak too, because she could have been concise and said, you know what? I dealt with this guy. We had a thing. It wasn't right. I'm sorry. Boom. Move on. People would have respected that. But instead, she did the whole entanglement instead of just saying it was a relationship and wanted to sound super deep to soften the blow, but in actuality, make it look worse. And now Will Smith is a meme now, like crying Michael Jordan. So with that said, let's get into this talk and let's see what she actually said. Let's look at it verbatim from the actual source. Let's check it out.
We've read that you're having some of the best sex these days, which, yay! And
Nothing wrong with
49.
that.
Yes,
You'll be
but I'm a
50 next year.
newlywed, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm cheating maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
You know?
I get that. Yeah.
So
I am too, kind of. How many?
only 3. We just had our 3-year.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
had our 5th.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, down and dirty and at 26.
That's amazing.
Now, let me just start right there. The way that she came in with that, it didn't seem super all the way positive. They're like, oh, here's my time. Oh, here's my time. She's like, see me, Friday's X. Like, bruh. But you see, Gwyneth Paltrow was like, oh, that's amazing. She didn't make that sound amazing, bruh.
It's incredible.
It's hard.
I know. I'm
I
sure.
mean, the thing that Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. I mean, we started in this at a very young age,
Mhm.
22 years old.
It's crazy.
That's why the accountability part really hit for me,
Yeah.
because I think
Yeah.
you expect your partner to know, especially when it comes to sex.
right.
It's like, well, if you love me, you should know.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you love me,
You should be able to read
you
my
should
mind.
read my mind.
Yeah.
Oh
that's a
my
That's
God.
a huge pip.
Yeah,
I
it is.
hate
Now, this goes on a couple different, many layers, but let's start with this, bruh. Number one, keep that to yourself. You don't need to put out that he don't know what to do. Now, there's ways you could frame that if you want people to know this in an educational manner. You could say, hey, there's been times, where, Will might have not known this, but, it was my fault too because I didn't communicate with him and we worked on it and worked it out. Now, or just don't say anything if it's going to be negative because this is your man. The things you're saying, you're his representative. So when you say weak things about him, people are going to look at him weaker. You're supposed to be his biggest cheerleader, and you're not sounding like a cheerleader right now. Now, on top of that, too, this is another thing. Women always do that. Well, he should have read my mind. We're not mind readers, bruh. We're not Miss Cleo. We're not Ask Zanzibar or whatever that thing is at the arcades where you put the quarter in and it's supposed to tell you everything. No, that's not real life. Where do you guys get this thing of we should just know? And there was some women, if they feel like they have to tell you, you're like less of a man, or how you know that. So here's the problem with that philosophy, right? This is the big problem with that. So if you don't want to tell me and I'm supposed to know, how am I going to know that? Through experience, right? How am I going to get that experience if I haven't messed around with other different women? So y'all say, oh, he's a player, but men have to be players in a way to have this experience to know how to please y'all because y'all don't want to teach us. That's horrible logic. And women do that all the time. What do you guys want? Non-logical thinking.
You know,
Isn't it weird though? It's like someone doesn't read your mind and we feel crushed. Like we feel so disappointed. Where do we get that from?
I don't know, because I don't feel like that.
See that? And I mean, at least they're admitting it. But my thing is too, he's like, yeah, where do y'all get that from? Because we don't be expecting y'all to read our minds, but how come y'all don't be knowing what men want? But then if we ask y'all, it's like, y'all don't even care a lot of times. Traditional, real feminine women, some of them will know, but even with them, sometimes they don't be knowing because all the onus, because of Disney and the subliminal program we've had where it's the knight of shining armor chasing the damsel in distress. It's all, what do the men do for the women? What about what y'all do for us? Y'all don't be reading our minds. Y'all don't be knowing what men want, and we're way simpler than y'all. We just want y'all to not talk to us crazy, maybe make some meals, just have a cool sex life, and treat us cool. We don't need a whole lot. But y'all need, I'll give you the moon, the sun, the stars. Like, y'all need everything, bruh, and still not happy. This woman is with one of the most successful celebrities of all time. And look how she's talking about him in the public, not respecting him. Just not satisfied, bruh. Now, let's keep going because there's other things that get said in here too that weren't talked about and wasn't the mainstream headline. So I want to keep going on this. Y'all see this too.
At all, I guess, or maybe I've just grown out of it.
I think
it's
you
like you
probably-
gotta tell me what you need. Like, I can't read your mind.
Right.
Because I've grown out of it too.
Yeah.
Tell me
Right.
what you need. Tell me what
Ashy.
you want. And on top of it, I know that I have to be accountable to do the same.
And do
Yeah.
you?
I really try.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
very.
You gotta
but
step up that accountability,
it's
Jada.
deeply healthy. And I think
Entanglement
around
wasn't accountable.
sex, because it's something that we don't talk about a lot, and there's so much fantasy around it.
Right. Do you know how confused we are because of porn?
I know.
Yes.
I was just talking about this with somebody.
Porn has really
Now, there's some
messed
truth
us
to
up
that.
in some ways.
I'm supposed to be there for every whim, every
Right.
pleasure, and that the woman's pleasure doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's not even thought about.
No. And then the
Now, let me stop right here. I will say this, right? There are a lot of men that just want to be pleased and don't know how to please a woman. Guys, you gotta step that up, bro. You gotta do some due diligence and learn, and you gotta do that. You can't be expecting women just to please you and you ain't pleasing them, bro. You gotta be bringing stuff to the table too. So I am gonna agree on that. And I will agree that with porn, that it creates, there's things about porn that aren't real. Like, you'll watch certain things, you think, oh yeah, they're getting it in, but bro, you see her hand pushing on the guy's hip. She don't like that. She's telling him not to go too hard or too deep. So there is a lot of truth to that. I will give that.
other layer, which I find really disturbing, is that because of the imagery that comes out and the consciousness that comes out around porn, I feel like young girls are getting the message that they have to be like that's the number one
Yes. Oh,
priority,
yes.
right? It's so
Yes.
awful, and it's like it's doing such a disservice.
Absolutely.
And it's so weird. I don't know. I feel like we're living in such a weird time because we're making all these incredible advancements and then we're going backwards.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And that really disturbs me that young girls, you can see it on Instagram. I'm
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
what is this pose? Like, why are
Yeah.
you, what is that?
Right.
And it's because that's what they think is like the metric of success, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
Now, here's where my pushback comes from. Now, are you gonna say because of porn and because of what it gets pushed and all that, that's why women are doing these poses? Y'all want to do that. Men don't care about that like that. Thirsty men might appreciate that. Men might look at that. But do you know how many men don't like that women are acting like this? Women do that for other women. A lot of things that women do are for other women. Men don't care about that. Women will get all their makeup done and do this extra stuff, and men would have liked it if they was just kept it more simple. But they do that so they can go out so other women could just notice, and then they can have their damn status and get their damn attention. Men don't be caring about that. A lot of men don't like that when y'all take pictures, y'all have to force yourselves to show your ass somehow in a picture. Y'all be talking about something deep or a world struggle, but yet a world struggle or something that's going on is catastrophic, or a family event or something educational or something in the community, yet you'll still find a way to show a pose to have your ass in there. Men aren't making you do that. Men haven't pushed this movement to where there's this female too short rap where y'all want to be Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and this thought shit summer. That's not what men want. Y'all wanted to do that. So let's take accountability for that. Now, to go back to the Will and Jada thing, here's what's going on with that. Jada has some star envy, bruh. And shout out to King Ref. Shout out to some of the guys I've talked about because I've seen other people talk about it and they had some good breakdowns. But it's like the Aisha Curry thing where she came out and was like on the same Red Table Talk. These women be shooting themselves on this damn talk where it's like, oh, I want more male attention. You know what I'm saying? But you got Steph Curry at home. But if he were to have said that, it would have been out of pocket. That double standard. Anyway, it's not the same though. It's not as bad as what Jada is doing. I mean, bruh, you just stay humiliating this guy. Why don't you just play the background? She doesn't have the successful career that Will Smith has. Will Smith is a star. She ain't as big of a star. But you're getting the benefits of that star because he's made you his wife and you're bearing his children. Why don't you just chill with the fact that you were able to lock that man down, which is a skill for women? Because a big skill for women is, are you able to lock down a top-notch man for a long time? So with that said, if he's willing to do that with you, that's a victory, a big victory for a woman. Some women be celebrities and stars, but can't lock down a man. Why don't you just enjoy the fruits of that labor and chill? But instead, you're biting the hand that feeds you and doing this stupid ass stuff and saying stuff about this guy, making him look crazy on social media where now he's a meme. Where now there's memes coming out. And I've been posting some of them too because they're goddamn funny. But it's not as much to hurt Will. It's more just to look how how stupid she is, bruh. Like, come on now. Just let him shine. And I will say this too. Will has probably most definitely done dirt. But the difference is he ain't out here talking about you, making you look crazy. You're making him look crazy. So with that said, bruh, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Do you agree? Do y'all disagree? And hey, it is what it is, bro. Jada, just keep your damn mouth shut.